gosh, I love that so much. Hello, Nicole.
Hello, Martha. What about you?
Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm so excited. Welcome to Adobe Live Education Edition Creativity Wrapped. I keep wanting to say unwrapped because we did the webinar at the beginning of the month, but we are wrapping it up. And I have this beautiful, I'm turning off the sound on my iPad, friends, but I have our chat up over here. We have the screens going, but most of all, we have exciting friends over here in the chat, Nicole.
We
We've
do.
got,
I
I'm
see that we had right from the very start, we had Brad in there, super keen bean early and everything. So bonus points for you, Brad.
He gets that little crown that says number one next to it. I feel like that's an exciting thing. So, for those of you that are new, if you're joining for the first time, because we had several ACE leaders sign up that received this link, if you're just joining because you saw us on Adobe Live or whatever it might have been, hello and welcome. My name is Martha Bongiorno, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I have the privilege of serving the Adobe for Education community as the global education community, global education community program manager. That is a mouthful, y'all. What I get to do is support educators every single day. And I get to partner with the lovely Nicole. And Nicole, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you, friend. You could also just summarize it as you're a legend and a good egg. That would cover it.
Brill, Nicole, Brill.
Totally brill. Yeah, hi friends. If we haven't met, lovely to virtually meet you. I am Nicole. I'm from Belfast in the north of Ireland, so representing the community team here over in the UK. And this is my first Adobe Live. So yay, buzzing for that. So yeah, I'm in really good hands with Martha and the team behind the scenes as well. So thanks everyone. Or sorry, thanks y'all.
Thanks, y'all. We're gonna keep trading off terminologies, but oh my goodness, if you are joining us, we would love to see you use that chat. Say hello. Where are you coming to us from? We see. Oh, Michael Clear. Hello, friend. We have Angela. Hello. We have Idara. I hope I said that right. If I did not, I apologize. I have Anne. Hello, Anne. And Sherry. Talk about, okay, Nicole. So back in the day, I was a school librarian. I still consider myself one. Okay. I've
Once a
worked in,
librarian, always a librarian.
I'm telling you. But Sherry in this chat is like OG school librarian. Like I blinked for a second because like how do you describe someone like Sherry? So
Oh.
I just want you to know that I see you in the chat, friend, and it's so lovely to see you on the chat. And
I also see Scotland represented here. We've got Ruth Burnett in the house.
Ruth, I can't believe I missed you, friend. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, we are librarians in the wild now, as Sherry just said. And Nicole, are you ready to dig in?
Yes, buzzing like my cousin. Let's do it.
That is the most fun pun I've heard in quite some time. But yes, we are going to do 2025 wrapped. And what we're going to do is just kind of base it off something you may have seen. Everybody's doing end of the year wrapped, but why not? Because what a time to reflect on the amazing things that we have accomplished together, right? So in 2025, we're going to start off with a big wrap, okay? Nicole, can you guess? And I want to hear it in the chat too, friends.
Oh,
How many people you think used Adobe Express for Education this year?
I feel like we need to play a game of higher or lower.
Mm,
Okay. So the whole year,
the
I'm
whole
gonna
year.
say 1 million people.
1 mil. Have you ever? 1 mil.
1 million.
Uh,
Higher or lower?
higher or lower, friends? Do you think it's higher than 1 million people or do you think it was lower?
Ooh.
I see you, Ruth. I see you, Sherry. You should be blushing.
Okay, well, what if I went with 2 million? I'm
Okay.
I'm doubling it now, doubling, going straight into the doubles.
Oh, Brad over here is saying it's lower.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Reveal it.
I think I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to switch over. 2025, the amount of people that have used Adobe Express for education, 3.7 million times.
That
Y'all,
is actually insane, isn't it?
actually insane. And that's actually people who create every month. So we use like a really cool statistics and stuff, but like y'all, this is crazy. 3.7 million times that students are creating this year
Yeah.
alone. Like,
And that's the Adobe Express for Education version. So you'd have more in the other version of Express as well. So it's just kind of, yeah, way to go, team. Making a
wait,
class product.
what do you call it? This is class. This is
Just
class.
class. Pure
Real.
class.
Oh my gosh. So I get really like fidgety and stuff. And so I'll do this to be like, oh, that's amazing. Or my daughter who's almost 16, she'll be like, no, it's this now. Like, yeah.
Although you do the first finger, I do the next one. You know, that's a
I
cultural preference as well now.
okay. If y'all are on the interwebs, okay, this thing is a millennial thing. It was like a trend on TikTok or something. And so my daughter just told me that this week. She's like, you can't do this. It has to be this.
Okay.
But yes, 3.7 million. That's crazy. Super exciting. We're gonna keep going because I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Let's find out some more stuff.
I'm considering today some chaotic good, Nicole. I play D&D and chaotic good, chaotic neutral. And we're just going to go with the flow today, and we're going to talk about our top edit features. So like these are features that you're utilizing in the project, the all-in-one editor project space in order to create, but also from the homepage. So these are tiles that you could have clicked on and just start digging right into a specific thing that you're looking for. So I'd love to hear from y'all. What do you think some of the top features may have been this year?
Mm.
Nicole.
I,
Um,
I mean, I'm gonna guess that it has to be all the things to do with PDFs because that is actually surprisingly the thing that teachers go nuts about the most whenever I'm doing sessions. It's like, yeah, okay, Gen AI, and yeah, okay, that's lovely. And they're like, I can edit a PDF. And I'm like, yes, you can. So PDF stuff has to be in there somewhere for me.
I get a little triggered by this because not really, but like being a school librarian, especially in middle school and high school, the front office staff, the secretary, everyone, every year, the biggest thing they ask me for is help with PDFs. Like, how do I edit this thing that I made last year? How do I edit a syllabus from last year? How do I edit this newsletter from last year? And y'all, if this had happened back in the day, it would have saved me so much time and energy and capacity levels. But yeah, edit PDF definitely should be in here.
Do you remember the good old days of like cutting up your pieces of paper, gluing them down, putting, yeah, was
Yeah,
that a thing?
yeah,
You just went straight to
I know. All
like the
right,
jigsaw PDFs.
I see Brad say remove background question mark. So let's see.
Hmm.
All right, we're starting with number 5, convert to GIF.
GIF or GIF?
Oh, I say GIF. Do we say
I say
GIF?
GIF. I never say GIF.
Okay, that makes me feel better. If you're from Ireland and saying GIF and I'm from the US saying GIF, it is a
Say never. Universal now. I don't actually know who says GIF. I think that's just for irony and bants.
yeah, I think people just do it to like rock the boat. They
I
just
want to know where people put the GIFs afterwards. Are they actually messaging them? I was like, what do you do with your GIF?
Y'all, this is actually a really good question and probably something we should have an Adobe Live on, which I know sounds really simplistic because we use GIFs and we respond in GIFs all the time, right?
Yeah.
But as a teacher, I'd love to hear how you've used GIFs. In my previous school district, we used all Microsoft tools. So we
Hmm.
would have OneNote, Word docs and all that kind of stuff. And I would just go in and insert them as comments. So
Uh,
like it was just a way to like have a little fun with how you respond to students. And then I have students create their own in order to add comments to like discussion threads.
yeah, I mean, like you know, we love GIFs in a Teams chat. Like we go
Right?
mad for them there. So maybe that's a 2026 project is making GIFs for the chats.
100%. And you are so funny. She says GIF is a peanut butter, and I agree. So we're going with GIF. Michael is saying QR code might be on here.
Mm. Yeah, and it's actually moved from the edit features. So then it's now hidden underneath the plus button. So it'd be interesting if it was in there, wouldn't it?
All right, let's see.
Let's
Is
go
it
number
number
four.
4? Remove objects, y'all.
Get out
Remove
of here.
objects. Okay, this is shocking to me because I would have said QR code too. Like QR code probably, but maybe it's in a top spot. Who knows?
Could be
But
number four looks short enough for QR code, doesn't it? Maybe.
maybe,
Mm.
maybe. But remove objects, this is actually not like remove background. It's going in and using generative AI to remove objects from your image. So, oh my gosh, I see Anne in the comments. Nicole, you've been around for a minute using Express. What was it? It used to have a different name. It used to be under one
For
feature.
remove object.
Yeah, remove object, insert object. It was all one thing, and I can't. Generative fill. That's what it was.
Ah, the
And it
fill.
switched.
Yeah, because for me, I'm like, it's not really remove object, it's like replace object because it like replaces it with other pixels. Whereas erase object, that one makes sense.
Yeah.
It does literally take it out. But the remove objects, I find that really handy whenever you're taking photos out and about. Like I was taking a photo of a ship somewhere and didn't want a lamppost in it. So there you are, remove object, out you go, replace with blue sky. Done.
Did you know? I know we talk about Adobe Express mostly in education. We're moving into like some other features, especially, as educators, this is really great. And for the holidays, if you're traveling, I use Lightroom all the time. It's like my favorite app in the Adobe ecosystem. It's my favorite app of all time. I should say Adobe Express. Second to Adobe Express is Lightroom. Um, but I use Lightroom on a daily basis, and they had the remove object feature, and now it automatically recognizes people. So let's say that my family just went to a very fun, most magical place in the world, and I'm like standing in front of the Millennial Falcon or something, and I am surrounded by human beings who it's fine.
Mhm.
It's fine. But like when I want my picture printed and put up in the house or something like that, you can go remove that. All
But
right.
that's so handy, I think, as well, though, because I would want people to do that with me if I was in the background of their photos. Like, please remove me. I don't need to be in your holiday photos. Take me out.
Right. 100%. Brad is like, yes, Lightroom rocks. 100% friend. Okay. Number 3. All right. We've mentioned remove background. We've mentioned QR codes. Those haven't shown up yet. So let's
Mm,
see. Insert objects.
get back in the room. There we are. We said get out of here. Now we're saying come back here.
I wonder if that has something to do with how many guided activities we've used insert objects around.
Oh, of course, because bento box was like flat out with insert object, wasn't it? Like there's so much inserting with that one.
Right. And so I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts in the chat on how you might have used insert objects, if you feel like the guided activities have been helpful for that. One thing we're going to get into is like our top guided activities, but I love how each one kind of showcases these different features. And so that way you can practice on a specific one and then you know how to use it later. And clearly it's working.
Right? All the skill development.
Love that bento box, Ruth, 100%.
Yes.
All right. Number 2 and number 1.
Got to be QR code now, is it? This is one I think looks short enough for it. Let's see. Oh,
Edit
uh,
PDFs.
well, I did say PDFs had to be in it somewhere.
OMG, y'all. So edit PDFs. I'm shocked that's not number 1.
That's also
Absolutely
true.
shocked. Okay, y'all. So that leaves us, it looks like a bigger block.
Ooh.
I want to know.
A big hitter is not going to make the top spot. It's not even going to make the top five. One of the big hitters, QR
I know.
code or remove background. Let's
I know.
see.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's not QR codes, it's number one. So maybe that'll help. That's your hint.
Mm,
Dun, 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 dun.
drum
Okay.
rolls.
I don't know if you can hear it because I have all the suppressed noise, but I was like trying to drum on my table.
I
Number
heard
one, remove background. What? Call us shocked. Call all of us shocked. Like, remove background was the number one feature. We've removed background 36,000 times, almost 37,000 times in 6 months.
So you could basically double it, and that was it for the whole year. Mad.
Yeah. But you know what's really cool about remove background? And yes, there's an image here of a cat, and I would love to put my cat in like all sorts of scenarios. And you can use generative AI to create your own settings and scenes now. Um, but you can also remove background with videos.
Right. That actually probably helped it a lot that because you can't insert objects with videos as well. So that's probably what bumped remove background right up to the number one spot.
100%. All right, y'all.
Can I
So,
say something that I learned about remove background from you? I learned this subtly. You didn't even intentionally teach me it. But I learned that one of a really nice way that you use remove background is you remove background of a photo of yourself and then you duplicate that photo of yourself, go and do some geotone on it and make like a really heavy color. So it's like basically an outline. That was very clever. I picked that up a couple of months from you. So yeah.
oh, thanks, Nicole. I learned that from Claudio. So I love how our team and our community just keep sharing with each other and it just keeps
Like
on rolling on.
learning by osmosis, just
Oh,
exposure.
right? Exposure. Okay, friends, we are going to move into our top guided activities for the year. Which one
Mm.
do you think was our top guided activity before we move on?
Hmm. You know what? There's so many good ones. And you could also actually just split it down into the 12 days creativity. But of course, they're guide activities as well. So they're all in the mix here. So
Right? And that would include some of the ones from last year because they stay all year long. So I'm curious if timing matters with this too, because we just pulled the data on like the top created ones. I would say book bento box would be in this.
mm, it could be.
It could be. It could be. All right,
Uh,
y'all. Which ones?
I'm gonna
And
I'm, I'm gonna say there has to be one of the 12 days creativity up there. And one of them's gonna be in there somewhere. Probably if you go by like the frequency bias, it's gotta be the ugly sweater up there somewhere because it's the first one and everybody loved it so much last year. So it's got its legacy rep. It's carrying it
yeah,
into 2025. So I'm gonna go with that one.
I like how you said that. It is a legacy guided activity. It has to be there, or it's not the 12 days. All right. I don't see any answers in the chat. So do not be upset when we tell you which ones. You've had your chance. You've
Very
had your
good.
chance. All right, friends. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
Okay.
let's unpack this.
Are we not shocked? We have two 12 days of
Uh,
creativity
do you know
on here.
what? Design your own stuffy is super, super cute. So it actually deserves to be up there.
Okay, if y'all have not played, so let's work backwards to number one. So
Mm.
number five, that cute little stuffy mug, adorable. And you can create like all sorts of things. Like I could see that being for a book character, a historical character, but also just something really fun. And that was a cute one for elementary for sure. Like I could see elementary and middle school both loving this one.
I also loved it. Like I made a little airplane as a little travel companion because I was wild nervous doing big
I
flights last week.
did. That,
Unironically needed it.
that was adorable. So that was number five. Number four is the cute little plush pal. This is shocking to me because this one came out last month, Nicole, and it was a top one for the year.
I was going to say, I was like, do you know what doesn't shock me though? Because our ACE leader community keeps growing and our ACE innovator community is growing. And those guys definitely take part in the monthly creative challenge. So that's why that one has to be up there.
Yeah, I can see that. But also like Martine's example here, this cute little blue monster playing basketball, like how adorable.
Yes.
I created one
It is a
for
vibe. It's literally a vibe.
it's such a vibe. And I think I may need to be corrected. I see Anne in the chat. I don't see Shell. But normally it's like, didn't Shell create versions of us? I
Yeah,
think she did. I could not remember. Should
it
have had
was
that
it
up.
was uncanny actually, the ones that she made of you guys. It was very impressive. But she is the Gen AI prompt queen, so of course she did it.
100%. Moving into the third spot, and I think this was number one last year, was the Action Hero trading card. And this one, if you haven't played with it, oh my gosh, my little librarian heart, Sherry, if you're still here, it is my top one, my top go-to for librarians or instructional coaches. And I'll tell you why. Because at the beginning of the year, when you're trying to advocate for yourself and you're trying to tell people, here's how I can help support you, like it's one of the only professions. People don't have to come to you in the school building. Kids have to go to class. They may not, but they have to go to class, you know. But being a school librarian and instructional coach, like you have to put yourself out there and like advertise yourself, or the collaborations don't happen, right?
Hmm.
So I create cute little menus or whatever you want to call them at the beginning of the year, kind of showing how I support them. So the trading card idea I had, every time a teacher collaborates with me, I give them a trading card so they can collect them all throughout the year. And then
That's
it
so
just becomes a little
But
fun.
also it's so fun as well. Like that's, do you know what? This makes sense why you lead community because that's building community in your school as well. Like having everybody connected for something like that. That's so sweet.
Oh yeah, thanks for that. If you have any student ambassadors, or if you have like a student tech team, we had a completely student run maker space in our high school, Nicole. So like they ran the entire thing. I just helped facilitate. And
Yeah.
then one of the ways that we did something a little different, but we would have used this had I been there when this came out, we would have printed these off like as posters and had each person as like, this is our 3D printing person, this is our sewing person, this is our Glowforge person or whatever. So that way they were nice and big and cute.
Love
And
it.
then they had their contact info. Um, do y'all go to conferences? I'm looking at the chat and just trying to, but if you go to conferences, this is a good one too. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
for announcing that you're going. Yeah, that's a great shout actually.
I could go on about this one. It's my person. I love that one. Number two spot, the ugly sweater. So you were right, Nicole.
It had to. It had to. It's similar, but it's also similar to the action figure one. Like it's a legacy. People remember it. People loved it. Yes, it got a refresh and an uplift for 2025, but it was the first 12 days of creativity that everyone was clicking. And also I saw like today, it's still being used, even though it's not day one anymore. But sure, every day is day one if you want it to be. But like Ulydia College had posted, they did like an entire, like their entire junior school did a competition for their ugly sweaters with Adobe Express. So I'm like, there we are. Yeah, like an entire junior school doing one. So yeah, of course that one's up there. Plus Vaporwave, what a cool style. Again,
Right.
like another way to click into styles when you mightn't do that with some of the other guided activities. Whereas this one kind of like forces you to explore. And as Anne Cosmo would say, push all the buttons.
Because you can't break it. You can't break it. We can always go back or see version history, which pro tip, version history. You can always go back to a previous version.
You're going to have to show that when we go back in because I think there's some people who don't know about the gift that is version history.
Oh my gosh, I love that one. But yeah, I'm so thankful for this for all the 12 days. But this one in particular is really cute. And I've seen librarians, I know we're kind of sticking to that, but like I've seen librarians do this for like school competitions too in the United States. And so I want to give a shout out to Betsy Snow, who is a librarian in California, and she's one of our ACE innovators. And she just did that. She posted it to teens and Microsoft Teams is like a challenge for their whole school. And I thought that was so neat to be able to create community like that. All right, Anne, I see you. The creative self-portrait, though, all-time fave. Not surprised it was number one. Are you shocked, Nicole?
I'm not because it was the monthly guided activity or monthly creative challenge for September, wasn't it? So whenever you've come straight back to school, you're like, okay, we've settled in our kids and we're ready to log on to Express. Oh my gosh, there's a new homepage. What's this first tile? I'm gonna click it. That's what everybody did, 100%. So yeah, that one makes sense to be up there. But also, can we take a moment for that number underneath? 800,000 people did a guided activity this year?
Of just these five, Nicole. Just these five. Not all guided activities, just these five.
That's crazy.
So
That
they were
that knocks my socks off.
absolutely bonkers. Number one is cool too, because I know it's using generative AI, and that's definitely a digital skill set that is necessary for students to learn in 2025 and going into 2026. It's not going away. Having some type of literacy around AI, the prompting skills that it requires, the writing skills, the iterations, like all of that plays into it. But I also like that you can delete that and include your own image, so
Mhm.
you could upload your own drawings into Express. You could draw your own picture in Express. You could use one of the thousands of stock photos that are there. So there's lots of options with that too, where you can kind of change it in and out.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a photo of the book character, like actually right off the page. Way you
Yeah.
go. Uh,
Yeah.
Any
Um,
options?
have you ever read the book, The Word Collector by Peter Reynolds?
I haven't, but massive shout out for Peter Reynolds anyway. What a legend.
Love that book, one of my favorites. And I'm sure a lot of you in the chat, I'm seeing y'all. I'm sure a lot of y'all have read that. But if you're looking for something to do in January, I know this was the back to school guided activity, but if you're looking for something for January besides the new one that's going to come out, this would be a great one. The
Mm,
word collector, and then talking about like what words we think of for the year, what words we would describe ourselves as, what words would describe our goals. There's lots of ways that you could do that. This is a simplistic way of doing some type of visioning or goal setting. We
mm.
also have, I'm shocked it's not here, the vision board. Like I was shocked that that was not there. And the book bento. I'm going to go back, and that it's a missed opportunity. But
You're gonna bring it back. She's gonna resurrect it for 2026.
listen, don't tempt me. Forget everything else. We're going to lean into those so we can take over these other five. All
Too
right.
right.
All right, y'all. We've talked about how we've used Adobe Express, but none of this would be possible without the love, the care, the dedication, the passion that not only like you all in the chat, but like our entire Adobe Creative Educator community brings to the day. Daily. Nicole, our team, myself, we get DMs, we get emails, we get to see socials of the ways that you show up for students on a daily basis. And I just want to say how much I love working for this team and serving this team, because y'all, I get choked up sometimes because it is amazing what you can accomplish when you have the heart and the dedication, and then you happen to have a really cool tool that lets you do all of it together. So um, Nicole, they are all good eggs, is what they are. It's what they are. So let's get into it. These are some of our top community things that have happened this year. So we've talked about our tool. Let's talk about community, and we're getting into it. Let's start off with Nicole. We led our first book club.
I mean, also a mighty shout out, Martha, for the global efforts that you've been leading, like truly to bring everybody across continents and time zones. And the book club was a great way for people to take part asynchronously as well as synchronously. So there was a great blend there. Like if you didn't want to do the midnight creativity parties, you could just take part on the forum as well. So like that was Stroke of genius, my friend. Mighty shout.
I appreciate that. But actually, I have to give a shout out to our community because one of the things that I value most about our community team is when we hear suggestions, when we hear what y'all are asking for, we take that into consideration and we share that with the people that can make a difference at Adobe. And one of the things that we routinely heard is breaking down these barriers, right? Like we want to break down classroom barriers between students. We also want to break down barriers and entry points of access to collaboration and community between our UK, our Japan, our Australia, New Zealand, India, like our educators all around the world that we connect with. And one way we did that was with book club. So I want to give a shout out to Anne too. Thank you so much for helping us lead and facilitate this. But I also Stevie Frank and Megan Ford, who are two of our innovators. And I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see it on the screen. Stevie Frank right here and Megan Ford right here. They led the discussions in the EDU forum for us. And they had read, prepared the questions, kept that conversation going. And a huge shout out to Tim Needles, who was our ACE innovator, that we read his book. And I just
Like
think that's so cool.
that's incredible. So mighty good eggs, but also like Tim, like what a privilege and an honor to be the first one to kick off your book, kicking off a book club, and who knows what the next one's going to be?
Who knows? But
Not me.
we have big shoes to fill. We had 150 people participate, and then 1,500 plus comments and engagements across the board for this. And that doesn't include the virtual meetup that we had. That was all asynchronous conversations. So, in addition to book club, Nicole, we also had our very first virtual Teach Meet.
Like that was the most bucket filling call that I've had in a long time. And that actually still sits with me as well sometimes. And I'm like, well, I wonder what 2026 is going to bring. And I'm like, I hope it brings another one of those because like look at all the hearts and the peace, love, and hugs that is just radiating from everyone. It was fab. And I'll give a shout out for the wonderful Debs there. You see her on the screen for kicking it all off, but also the innovators who led all the breakouts. Like, there's so much talent in this community, and there's no gatekeeping, right? Like, everybody is here to go, yeah, this is what I do, and this is how I share. And the breakout rooms, like, even though like sometimes I just sit back and take notes, and I was like, this is great. I'm just absorbing so much from everybody. It was fantastic. It really was class.
I'm excited. We're going to have our next one in February. We had 7 countries represented, over 80 different unique Adobe creative educators. We spent about 2 hours together. Some of that was laughing and giggling and fun, but most of it was collaboration and sharing of ideas. It was just so cool. But ultimately, there's no way to capture the joy from that experience. It reminded me of early teaching days. So that was lovely. Okay, if you like the idea of those two activities and ways of connecting, we have those and other ones we couldn't even talk about today because there was so much that we did this year. We would love for you to consider joining ACE Leader. This is a global community at this point. We are open to anyone and everyone, but please consider joining ACE Leader. But other ways we connect with our community are at events. So Nicole and I are going to talk about some of our region specific ones that we've done, but ISTE is an international conference. I know they say that oftentimes it is most of the time it's in the United States. So there's some, privilege with that. But we are so excited. We met folks from all around the world at ISTE. We had our photo walk. So shout out to Martine and Claudio and Wezzy and Shell and Jesse and Anne and our extended team. You can see Teresa here with her little finger pointed, our extended team. And we just love that we can get together in person and just have some fun and learn some cool things like Lightroom while we're walking down San Antonio. This year, it's in Orlando.
Ooh.
I know, something to look forward to.
I've never been there. All right. Guess where I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've already got the shirt. You've already got your Disney shirt. So you
I'm
have to
ready. I'm
um
ready. So, road trip.
trip. I love that. Well, flight for you and then a road trip, I think. But one other thing that I want to point out about ISTE and why it made our slides or what we're talking about with Adobe for Edu Wrapped is the ways that our community showed up. So we had over 35 sessions. I think we capped at like it was 50. It was somewhere near that 50 mark. I should have put it up here. I ran out of time, y'all. I'm just going to be honest. It's the end of the year and we've got parties after school and winter guard going on. But we had almost 50 sessions, and these were led by our ACEs. And they presented at the Adobe booth. They helped activate, and we use that word. I shouldn't use that word. We played. That's what we did. We played and giggled and had so much joy creating with each other. And that was community led. Nicole, is that not so cool to be able to not only be able to connect in person, but like empower each other? And that takes vulnerability, courage, but also
Yeah,
just,
it takes turning up as well, right? And play is one of the best ways to learn. It's the same for our kids, it's the same for the big kids in us as well. So and it's always better with friends. So better together. Got there.
100%. Nicole, I want to give you a shout out because it is 9 p.m. What is it? 9:30 where you're at. And so I just want to give props to you. In the same way that everyone's showing up for each other, you're showing up for us tonight, and I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, friend.
We also were able to have our Innovator Summit, and this is our Adobe Creative Educator Innovators. These are some really creative educators from all over the world. We hosted everyone in San Francisco, super exciting. Play is learning, Sherry, and that's what we did at Innovator Summit. We brought together 80 folks in person, and then we had about 30 to 40 that were virtual, that Nicole led our virtual sessions for us. And thank you so much for helping facilitate that. And then it was just really
Gifts
neat.
were popping. We had gift dance parties. You guys had in-person dance parties. The gift chats were popping off then.
But if you have ever considered yourself as extra and you have been lurking online, oh my gosh, looking online, that was super southern. If you have been looking for a community of folks that want you to be extra, if you keep pushing you to be extra, that's how I felt as an educator. I worked in rural Georgia before I moved to Atlanta, so I was like on an island, Nicole, like all by myself. I was doing all these really creative, innovative things, and I felt very alone in what I was trying to do. Like I was
Yeah.
crazy. You know what I mean? And then I
Mhm.
met ACE Innovators and became one. And I just love this community so much because they're the type of people at, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., where you're at. And you're like, I have this crazy idea. What do you think about this? They're like, yeah, do it. Like, what do you need help with? Or like, here's how I might do it. Or like, how might you see yourself accomplishing that? Like, there's just so encouraging. And then being able to be in person was just phenomenal because we had Adobe product people in, content people in. We really got to see what sneak peeks are happening and all that kind of stuff to get us prepared for back to school. So it was really neat.
And that's where a lot of the y'all happened. The you asked, we listened. Like
Yeah.
I think there were some very polite and very vocal asks that got answered in the last couple of months of the year as well, which is again, thank you for advocating for your school communities and for all of the Adobe Creative educators across the globe who wanted the features that you guys got made from that summit. So mighty shout out to y'all.
Like podcast. So exciting. I know I clicked back and I went forward again so you could see the video down here in the right hand corner. I know our faces are covering it. It's perfectly okay. But Claudio dancing with Monica in her little unicorn Stardust outfit at our evening reception, gold. It will live rent free in my head. This is like Riley's core memories kind of thing. Like
Oh,
I everyone was singing to Queen, and it was Bohemian Rhapsody. We're all dancing, we're all singing at the top of our lungs. It was just all day we had so much, like we were deep in conversation, like really engaged in the learning process and like sharing with each other. And to be able to show up at night with the same kind of energy. I mean, I'm an introvert, so like you feel a certain kind of way at night. The energy just kept going up. It was so great.
there's so many endorphins, all the vibes and serotonin right there.
It's the best. But if you are looking for ACE Innovator, so we accept anyone and everyone into our ACE Leader program. We would love to have you. ACE Innovator is an application process, and it does require a video application. But we want to see the creative ways that you're showing up for students, for your staff, um, or your niche communities. If you're a school librarian, would love to see you apply for ACE Innovator. This is a global community, and applications are due at the end of January. Nicole, anything to add?
No, it just we have our ACE Innovators for Europe just announced a month or so ago. And we've got majority UK, but we've got someone in Spain as well now. So we are rippling across Europe, and I can't wait until next year, next academic year, when we can start opening those doors wide open to get more friends in there. And just yeah, I love the amount of global opportunities that are coming now as well. So for joint calls and things like that. Like it's going to be great. Loads of great things to come along. So yeah, come and apply and love to see us.
I love that. I want to answer some things in the chat. So Jacob, it started us back. Did she ever leave? So
I was
that's
going to
my
say,
question.
where did Stardust go?
I
She didn't come home with me in my suitcase, I'll tell you that much.
I Stardust forever. That's what I have to say. And if you want Stardust going, you'll have to go through me. I love Stardust, and our community loves Stardust. So we're gonna leave that.
What do you call the llama?
Baby llama? I don't know.
Baby llama? Baby llamas?
We should do that, Nicole, upon our return from break. I want to name the llama. That would be
Okay.
the cutest, like student challenge. Like
Oh,
generate the llama, or hold on, that's the little baby Stardust. Generate a name and an image for the llama. That would be adorable.
that should also be the icebreaker question for our meetups, for our virtual meetups in January. And we can just vote.
I
Love
love
it.
that. Okay, we've got Europe things. I love how you stated that. Europe things.
Europe things. So yeah, look at all this bunch. So Ruth, I want to reply to your question and say that yes, innovator applications have closed for Europe for this year, but we will be aligning with our global friends to try and get in the same calendar sync for recruitment. But yeah, you're absolutely smashing it as an ACE leader as well. So you'll be the first to hear whenever the Europe applications for innovator come up because you're so active in our leader community. So thank you, friend. So yeah, all the mighty stuff that's gone on in Europe. So we have the two pictures in the top corners are from our case studies. So we have one in England in Kenny Bartonshaw School, and then we had I know, and then we have one in Scotland as well for South Lanarkshire. So it's like an entire region, entire district, case study just to show what bringing learning to life through creative digital skills has been doing for them. If I kind of go down the middle, we've got some love for that's for the Scottish digital leads. In fact, Ruth, you're probably in there somewhere. We had our Scottish digital leads get together with Dom and Ruth up in Edinburgh or maybe in Glasgow, but they're in this really fancy building. Like, look at how class this is. I think it was one of the Virgin hotels. So they got treated royally, like the royalty they are, the digital leads across Scotland. So there's 32 local authorities and they're all doing fantastic work. And right below that is whenever Shell came to Scotland. So Shell came over for a week in the UK, and that was whenever she went along to some of the events that were taking place in Scotland. If I go right underneath that, then we've got Sean, Kevin, Jen, and Jules at one of the Manchester United events in so that's like a Premier League football team for anyone who doesn't know it. So they had like this mega event, and it was hundreds of girls, hundreds of high school girls coming along to pick up some digital skills. And our team were there to show Express, which was really cool. And big shout out to Kevin and Sean for helping unlock England as well, because the other nations in the UK have like top-down deployment, whereas England is kind of like, you got to go collect them all. You got to go school to school, trust to trust. Down the left-hand side, then these photos are from Northern Ireland. We've had some fantastic visitors from the Adobe team have been over. We've been doing some, like, you mightn't understand this, Martha, but if you dust out your history books, we've got some troubles in Northern Ireland sometimes, and Adobe
Oh,
Express is being used as a peace building tool. So we've been like bridging community divides through digital technology. So bringing two sides of a community or multiple sides of communities together on collaborative projects. And we had some Adobe execs over to see some of that as well, which was pretty awesome. And
that's
then on either side of the Scottish photo there, we have Bet and our first ever Adobe Creativity Institute with our innovators. So that was led by Gail, Rebecca, Will, all the gang. Jessie was there as well. But that was mad. That was nearly a year ago now. It was January of this year. And I had to get that in for 2025, even though January feels like it was a lifetime ago. And then on the right-hand side, to finish it off, we've got the mighty Meredith living it up in Wales, doing all of his education evangelist work over there. So he's been absolutely smashing it. And there's just one tiny, tiny, tiny photo there of Jen, our boss over here in Italy. So she doesn't speak Italian, but her slides were in Italian, and she was over there presenting at the Education Embassy for introducing generative AI and Adobe Express across Italy. So we truly are moving from the UK to Europe, and it's just going to keep going that way in 2026. So big shout out to y'all, and huge thank you to the global community team for supporting me and supporting us in the most spectacular way that we have not felt one bit like an island. It has been truly one Adobe. So thank you, friend.
Oh gosh. Okay, so here is my takeaway from all of this is the ways that teachers, educators continue to show up. This means after school, weekends, time away from your students, time away from your family, all of these events that we just talked about, we are showing up for you in the way that you're showing up for your kids. And we just could not be doing the amazing work that we are without each and every one of you. And Nicole, the way that you show up for the UK and Europe, your whole team is to be commended. That is amazing. And y'all over here in the chat, and I just want to say thank you because I know that you're taking time out of your day being here and just kind of wrapping up the year with us and bringing some joy into our lives too. So just thank you, thank you, thank you. And just said so many dynamic things happen across the Adobe UK community, 100%, and just fabulous. In 2026, even more.
Absolutely.
It's going to be great.
Levels to be unlocked.
I have to give a shout out. Lindsay Blass is not here, but Lindsay Blass is one of our managers. And when you talk about people who listen and really take into consideration, like, what is the community actually asking for? Like, what do we really need in order to accomplish the goals? One of the things that we hear quite often, where do we find resources that matter? How do we connect across global time zones and like language barriers and all of those types of things, right? And how do we showcase the amazing work that our educators are doing? And Girlfriend delivered, Nicole. So this launched in July, right as back to school happened. We launched our community forum. You can find it at edu.adobe.com. Our homepage just launched in, was it October? I think it was October. Maybe it was September, but it's been slow rolling kind of, but man, is it picking up. And I just encourage each and every one of you, Nicole and I are in there, our team's in there, but most importantly, our educators from around the world are in there. And we talk and we laugh and we share the things, and it's great.
I think this is a brilliant example of, that principle of like make it exist and then make it better. So it's
100.
like we got to have a place to hang out and then we'll keep improving it so that it's the one-stop shop that everybody is looking for. So yeah, this is a brilliant example of that in action. And thank you so much to all of the educators who have contributed their educator collections that now live on that homepage. You've got your shout outs, you've got your featured posts. There's so much in there and there's more to come as well. So thank you all for making that community homepage the space that it deserves to be.
I thought this was a perfect example of just jumping headfirst into something. Feet first, head first? I don't know. What's the saying? Is it feet first or head first, y'all? I need to know.
Head first might be sore, so let's say feet first.
Feet first. But I have loved this project because we just started. Just do it. Just start something. It may not be great when you first start it, but y'all, we landed on like a good egg with this one because it did. It was so great to start with, and it just keeps getting better and better. So, thank you, Anne. It is such a great resource. We really appreciate it. All right. So we're going to jump into just a few little baby things in just a second, but we are excited to go into 2026 with each and every one of you. Nicole, I love you so much. I
Oh,
love our community so much. And this is going to be the year that we empower everyone to create, and it's going to be epic.
yeah. And I will just say as well that already I know that the people who are in this chat already feel empowered to create because I recognize so many of their names from sharing the 12 days creativity online. So it's now over to them also to start empowering others and like they're definitely up for the challenge.
100%. If you are on socials, I know not everyone is nowadays, and obviously we have the edu forum, edu.adobe.com that you can go to. But if you are on the socials, consider sharing with the hashtag Adobe Edu Creative. We love to connect with y'all. I love chatting up the DMs, or if you have questions, or go follow the community team. We love interacting with folks and like just seeing the cool things that you do. Um,
And
but without
also, we know that 100,000 people like connecting with you, Martha, on Insta. Yes,
y'all,
we do. I have
that's
to
so
try and make this do
good.
it. How do we
You're
get the confetti again?
I don't know. Mine is broken, but y'all, that was very sweet. I am
There we
excited.
go.
Maybe I just had to wait longer, but I might be that influencer that does the 100K picture, but who knows? Um, but we're gonna
We
jump
insist
out of
upon
here.
it. The chat is going to insist upon it. We're going to politely peer pressure you to do it.
You're so sweet. I don't know how to accept a compliment, so we're just gonna leave that there, and I'm gonna try to appreciate it and hold it right here. Thank you, Nicole.
You're
So
welcome,
we
friend.
want to jump into product just for a second. We wanted to show you the homepage. And Nicole and I just have a few things that we want to share that were our favorites from the year. So we shared what everyone's, this is what the data showed. This is what y'all have shared with us. But Nicole and I wanted to stop on like some things that, make us excited. And these were our go-tos for the year. And so, Nicole, what's your go-to? Like, if you look back on 2025, like, what's your favorite thing?
Um, you and the community, of course. But if I had to go with something in product, I would have to go with the guided activities because that's your easy, straight way into anybody who's new to the tool. I'm like, have you seen a guided activity? Let's go into these. And oh, you go in through the learn tab. See, she
Yeah, I
loves the
do.
learn tab. And I think one of the guided activities that's slept on, I don't think it gets anywhere near enough love, is the spelling trading card in the top right there. So this trading card, yeah, right there. I love it for a couple of reasons. One, because whenever I'm doing like app smashes and doing like Gen AI sessions that go beyond just Adobe Express, I use it as a way to show how you could create a CSV file or like get a large language model to make a CSV of some vocab words. Obviously, go in and check it to put the human in the mix there. But I use bulk create for this. So right up at the top. Yeah, let's just do it. We go to bulk create, we get started with it, and Blue Peter moment, aka Martha has one prepared from earlier. Go and find your CSV file, so that you can add it in to here. And what you're going to do is basically click next and start mapping elements. So what you have to do is just click the word. So let's click volcano first. And then you're going to connect it. You have to kind of click it twice. And now you're going to find click element again, yeah. And you're going to find the name of the header column in your CSV file in your spreadsheet that matches this. So that's the word. And then go and click uh, but yeah,
Yep.
that bit and make that pronunciation. There we go. She's a professional. And then Italy becomes the origin. And then that bit. Yeah, she's a whiz. And
I
then
got
not
it.
only, see, but not only that, not even once you've finished doing all the sentences, you can also then replace the assets that are in here as well. So if you click, let's try click Italy over on the right hand side here, the little asset here. No, it didn't come up. Okay. Sometimes there's it might be only for the photos that it comes up with. Anyway,
Okay.
let's click next. But you can also, but we can just go in and gen. Boom, right? In there, we've got all of our cards made, and well, we can see we've maybe got a sentence mixed up, so that should be the word in it. So we can always go back and fix that. So let's go back and map
And
the first word.
I think we have a couple minutes left. So I
Boom.
think at this
Yes.
point, we shared so much about our stuff.
See?
Let's see. We gather perfect. And then you can create pages and things like that. And then
And
I
you
wanted
can,
to share my favorite because I just real quick. Um, my favorite thing is just a homepage. You know, they shifted it at the beginning of the school year, and it was exactly what you were trying to go in to create. So people don't notice this quite often, but it's the create tab, the teach tab, and the edit tab. So you can see exactly what you're looking for. And under the teach tab, as a librarian who likes to curate resources for all my teachers, I love the teach tab because it's the best place to go to find really great research proven lessons that are going to engage kids. So I'm going to leave that there.
that is coming soon to Europe. Coming soon. That
Coming
teach tab.
soon. But y'all, I just want to thank you again for being with us today. And 2025 wrapped, man. That was an epic year. Epic year. Nicole, thank you for
Boom.
being a co-host. Thank you to
Shall we do
Jacob.
it all again next year?
And then y'all keep creating with us, hashtag Adobe EDU Creative, and we'll see you in the new year. We love you guys.
Peace, love, and hugs. See you in 2026.